As we explore the parallels between community service and organizational leadership, today I'm joined by Matt White, Director of Professional Services with Siffrin, and George Meyer, Chief Operating Officer, also with Siffrin. And Siffrin is a notable organization in Stark County that empowers individuals with disabilities. Welcome, gentlemen. Thanks for being here. And to be fair to our viewing audience, yes, there are two George Meyers on the set, and I'm proud to say that George, who works for Siffrin, is my son, and I know he's really excited about being with Siffrin, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you guys do with Siffrin and how you impact our community. Can we start off with a little bit of an intro? Matt, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with Siffrin, and kind of a little bit of an outline of what your responsibilities are there.
All right, so I've been with Siffrin for about 19 years now. When I first came in, I just took an entry-level job just to get some work for the summer after college. And so from that point on, I'd done a little bit of everything from maintenance to direct care to starting a fitness program within our day services to running the day program to our transportation. To now I oversee our employment services, and I've kind of had a little bit of every piece of the company over the years.
So what a way to work your way through the ranks to get to where you are, and we're going to talk a little bit later about the employment services, I hope. We'll go to George and tell us a little bit about yourself, other than we're going to start off with your dad as the sheriff.
Yes.
Okay, that's tough. That's a tough.
Yep,
that's a heavy load.
I've sat at a table like this many times in my life, you know, over dinner or maybe different educational things I needed to learn as a youth, right? So, yeah, my name is George Meyer. I am currently the Chief Operating Officer for Siffrin. I began with Siffrin early part of this year. I met Chris Wilhite, our current CEO, a few years ago. We had discussed some things about joining Siffrin at that time. It didn't work out, and then she recently reached out when they had an opportunity. So I do not come from the DD world. You know, my aunt Veronica received services, and that's how I became to know Siffrin, and that's really what got me interested in the programs. But I came up through leadership working in the retail environment, doing retail auditing, retail services for large Fortune 100 companies, and I did that for almost 20 years. All the way through director of operations level, working with companies like Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot. And then the last few years, I've kind of bounced around doing management consulting and executive leadership consulting before landing at Siffrin.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, good. We're glad you're there. Let's talk a little bit about the fundamental principles of leadership within the Siffrin organization.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So within Siffrin, I mean, we have things that are coming from the top down, but we focus on the bottom up. We want to make sure that the folks that are the center of our world are the people we provide those services, and the staff that provide that direct care. So we provide ample amount of trainings, opportunities for growth, and we feel that by doing those things, it helps to build up the folks that we are employing, and at the same time being employed by, and getting them into the community and providing them with good, safe services.
That's awesome.
I think one of the things that really drives the Siffrin leadership, and one of the things that you would hear our CEO talk about, is that servant leadership. You know, as we look at what my role is, or what Matt's role is, or any of our directors in the organization, is really being out with our other leaders in the organization to lift them up and empower them to be better leaders to their staff. And I think that's where, if you look at even what Siffrin's role is in the community as, you know, servants to individuals with disabilities, we actually take that even a step farther, and we're servants as leaders to our staff. What do they need? What will make their day easier so that they can serve the individuals that we're serving in the community?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, you guys and your staff, you certainly do challenging work. And Matt, you mentioned how you worked your way through the different principles within the organization and how you develop certain things to help the clients that you guys serve. I think I want to talk a little bit about, well, I don't care if you're organizationally structured or business structured, in today's world, we have to be concerned about the wellness of our staff. And so what kind of things do you guys have in place to address the wellness of your staff?
So, one of the, I hate to say this, but I think that Siffrin leads the industry in the DD world and in providers. We probably lead the industry in PTO. We want our staff to have the opportunity to take time off, take a step away, get a mental debrief, step away and be able to just relax outside the workplace. The other thing that we have is for mental health, speaking specifically to mental health, is working with the County Board of DD. The County Board of DD has an EAP program that they've put together for all providers. And it allows any of our staff to call in if they have a number of different situations that they need assistance with, either financially, mentally, just maybe they're down or they need someone to talk to. And that is free service that actually the county provides that we use and we put out to our staff. So I think that's a couple of things, but I really like to speak to our PTO program. Mm-hmm. We have a health and wellness program. We're always looking at ways, our HR team's looking at ways to reduce the cost to our staff on those things. So I think some of those go to speak to what are those little things we're doing with our staff. But speaking to that, I just met with our CEO this morning. This coming month, September, is DSP Appreciation Month. There's a whole special week allocated to that. The county's having a big recognition dinner. I believe that's on the 14th. And I don't want to put it out there quite yet because I don't want to surprise too many people because they'll see this video before it comes out. But we're looking at ways that we can, recognize our staff internally and show appreciation to them. Not just because it's the appreciation month, but those things of like what are we doing for them at all times. So I think that speaks to that.
Yeah, it does. And I'll tell you, you talk a little bit about the staff, and you have to certainly take into consideration if you're like many other organizations in Stark County and around the country, it's challenging to get good quality staff in place that you can retain. And so part of your retention is making sure that you have those personal time off. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go away from the acronym so folks understand what we're talking about a little bit better, but that's okay. Personal time off. And so how does that work within the organization, the PTO?
So once you're within the company, you're allowed to start using it at the 6-month mark, but you've been accruing it the entire time. It's an hourly accrual. So there's a 3-tier aspect to it. Your first year is a percentage, second year, and then your third year you max out at that percentage. And I mean, it is a decent amount where some people get 2 weeks off a year. You can accrue, and then at the end of the year, a percentage will roll over to where staff can sit there and go, you know what, I want to take something in August. They'll have it already available. Well,
guys, I hope folks that work for you are taking advantage of that, because certainly we're living in in an era where people are working long hours, stressful times for our labor force. We experience it within the sheriff's office as well, and so anything you can do to help your employees with a little bit of time off or rest is certainly beneficial to their health and well-being as they come to work to serve your organization. I want to talk a little bit about initiatives and programs that you might have, and how do you ensure the success of these services that you provide at Siffrin? Talk first of all, but maybe about some of those, and then how do you ensure the success of those programs?
So one of the things that I work on is our employment side. So we call that the Siffrin Works, and we've done things over the years in different aspects. But currently, right now, we're working on 2 different aspects of it. It is group employment, and then basically assisting people while they're already employed with other community providers. So we have actually a group of people that have been hired by Altman Hospital to work in different areas, and they'll have a job coach come down, check in on them, check with their supervisor, just make sure if there's anything they need. A lot of times it's just helping with training and getting signed up on their electronic apps to make sure they can do that piece. With their group employment piece, it is trying to build people up of different work techniques and different aspects you're going to run into in your everyday, to where once they decide they want to go into community employment, we'll help them with that as well.
Well, that's great. What do you think the percentage of folks that you get out, of your clients, what's the percentage of folks that you can get out into employment?
That's a tough question to answer. So, in the individuals that we serve, the state would like all of them to have some type of employment outcomes, is what they would call. So every individual has an ISP. It's an individual service plan. It's similar to youth that have an IEP in education, so an individual education plan. So as they age out of the youth program, they move into adults, and it's ISP. In there's going to be outcomes of what we want to see that individual succeed and do through the services we provide. Some individuals will have learning how to bag groceries. So we have our day program, our vocational program. They may spend part of their day in a mock grocery store bagging groceries for the other individuals that come by from a little convenience-like store inside our day programming. But not all the individuals have those outcomes listed. Some individuals will have outcomes listed as they want to receive job coaching on what are career opportunities for them. So then we take them through that path. Some will receive outcomes that Matt just talked about in group employment. We work with R.J. Matthews locally here in Stark County, a great organization. And they take a group of our employees and they're working inside their manufacturing location, or I think it's more distribution, right? Mm-hmm. And helping them do the things that they need staffing to do. And that's the big thing that we're trying to do is every organization in the United States is challenged with staffing of employees, right? So we're trying to help bridge that gap of that entry-level workforce, understanding accommodations and what accommodations can we help employers make by employing the individuals that we serve. So one of the things Matt didn't mention, but and it kind of goes to that leadership thing we were talking about a bit ago, was that Siffrin was awarded an employment readiness grant. That grant allows us to take many of our staff, Matt's one of them, they're going to go through an accreditation and get certified to do specific services and employment. They had an opportunity back in June to go to a national convention learning about individuals with disabilities, on how to get them employment. So our goal is to see everybody that we serve meeting their outcomes, whether that be in group employment, individual employment, like the Altman example that Matt referenced, and then whatever else would come our way. Our goal would be to grow those services that we have today. So today, Altman and R.J. Matthews, we're going to go through this training and this certification, and hopefully grow that to other organizations, help other organizations in Stark County and counties beyond.
Well, that's great. A little bit of what you guys have described certainly speaks to the community engagement. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the second half of our segment, because I think that's an important piece on how you're interwoven within our community. I'd like to take a moment to highlight a valuable feature on our free Sheriff's mobile app, the School Resource Officer, or SRO feature. This tool provides direct access to our dedicated SROs, offering families a direct line of communication and vital information about school safety initiatives and resources. It's an essential way for parents and students to stay connected and be informed about safety measures in place in their schools. Join the more than 100,000 people who have already downloaded our app by searching Stark Sheriff Ohio in your mobile app store.
Hello, Stark County. Sheriff George Meyer here. In today's fast-paced world, staying connected and informed is more important than ever. That's why we're excited to tell you about a tool that brings the Stark County Sheriff's Office to your fingertips. With our free app, you can receive instant alerts, access important updates, and find community resources. Whether it's checking on jail information, staying informed about local emergencies, or just keeping up with our community events, our app keeps you informed. So take a moment to visit your app store and search for Stark County Sheriff Ohio. Downloading is quick and easy and free. By staying connected, we're working together to keep Stark County safe. Download the app today.
I am a correction officer.
I'm a corrections corporal.
I am the jail commander.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Jeff Begg. Being a corrections officer isn't easy. The job is tough and it tests you every day. Every officer that works in our jail is making a difference. They are providing an immeasurable service to the community by ensuring the firm, fair, and consistent treatment of our inmates as they navigate the judicial system.
Learn more on how you can join our team today and be the difference.
Welcome back. And hey guys, we've had a great discussion this morning about Siffrin and the things that they do in our community. I want to dive down a little bit deeper and talk about the impact to our community as a large. And you know, I think you guys have a pretty large footprint in our community and what that impact looks like in Stark County.
Yeah, so, you know, I think one of the things we could highlight is, you know, this is not new. Siffrin's been around for over 40 years. You know, we recently had an individual that we serve join our our day hab programming after over 20 years of work. She spent 20 years working at a pizza shop. We did some job coaching with her, helping her learn the ins and outs of working in that location. She and the staff there loved her, right? She decided after about 20 years it was time for her to retire. I can tell you that was a heartfelt decision on her own, no different than you and I if we decided to retire. And the pizza shop threw a party for her. And it was a huge change in her life. But not only that, it just shows that this is not new. This is not new to our organization, it's not new to the community. But it also shows that connection with individuals and gets to that heartfelt, you know, connection with the soul, right? Here's someone who spent 20 years working for the same employer, a program that we helped her in. They threw her a retirement party, pizza, cake, and all this good stuff. So just one example of many that Matt I mean, it's the one I know from that's recently happened. Matt could share many more. I think Matt's going to talk a little bit about our Siffrin Academy and some of the connections they have with the community.
So another program that we have is the Siffrin Academy, and they do a lot of give back to the community. So they do some volunteering. So we have the one where they volunteer at the SAM Center, where they will help them organize and stock the food pantry, pack the bags, things of that nature, which we also use as an employment piece where we're teaching them different aspects of that. And that group there is great. They love seeing them come in, and they're always sharing stories when I see them in the community, like, oh, we love seeing your group come over, and they do such a wonderful job. So that one's always a fun thing to hear. The other place that they go is they go to Gigi's Playhouse, and that is like another provider for the youth in our area. And so they do two different aspects there. They'll go over there and do some volunteer work and doing some office setup. They'll fill in envelopes, they'll file some stuff, they'll do things of that nature. And then the other one that they do is they get to kind of have some fun, and they go over and they use their kitchen to do one of their meal prep programs. And they have their flashcards of the different foods, and they pick something, they go get the items, and then they get to actually practice that. So there's just different aspects that they get to do and participate with the community at large.
That's awesome, awesome programming. Now, you've talked about this is not new. You guys have been doing this. The Siffrin has been meeting these challenges in our community for many, many years. How does Siffrin evolve? How do they adapt to the changes within the community?
You know, I think it goes to leadership, right? And Chris Wilhite, our CEO, is a huge proponent of leadership. She pushed Matt a year ago to participate in the Leadership Stark County program. He graduated from that program, and Matt could speak a lot about that program itself. But bringing those ideas of that connection to the community, learning more about leadership, and then, you know, she's also pushed that myself join that program, so I'll be starting that in September. But what it shows you is, just in Stark County specifically, we are adapting to changing philosophies, changing leadership styles, understanding what's happening in our community between different organizations, different government entities, so that we are on the forefront with those agencies, so that if they're adapting to new changes in society, that we're right there with them, so that the people that we serve are better served by knowing those things in our community.
Well, that's great, and I think it's a good way to transition to goals. What are some of the short-term and maybe long-term goals for Siffrin?
Yeah, so I think our short-term goals, the number one thing that we're working on is we want to provide a quality service to the individuals we serve. So one of the newest initiatives, I mean, this is just off the ground a few weeks, is we've added a quality improvement team to the organization. They're strategically placed in a few different counties, so we serve about 9 different counties in different capacities. Those quality managers are out there, doing the inspecting what we expect type of programming in our homes. Not just in our homes, but in our day programming, to bring quality of service. We not only want the people that we serve to be happy, but we want to make sure that they have a life that they deserve to have. One of those things is making sure community engagement is happening. This past weekend, I think it was not this weekend, it was this weekend, we had a baseball game. So we go up to the Akron Rubber Ducks games, and we take a large number of individuals up to there. I know we have some individuals going to the Stark County Fair that's coming up, that's happening right now. That's one of the short-term initiatives we're looking at to impact the individuals we serve. Long-term, we have a strategic vision and plan for the organization. I think growth would be part of that. We don't serve in counties that are underserved. So we're in Stark County, Canton, Ohio. As you begin to move south a little bit, some of those counties become underserved by providers like Siffrin. And we are actively today looking at conversations with those counties and the boards in those counties, and how can we help them serve the individuals in their community. I know that we've recently, Tuscarawas County specifically, has reached out looking for assistance and services. So I would say that that's probably a longer term growth plan and goals for us as we move forward. Did I miss anything, Matt? I think that's where we're at right now, right?
Well, I think it's apparent that your vision and your goals certainly incorporate community involvement, and I think that says a lot for your organization. And it's one of the reasons we want to have you guys on, because you do have a pretty, like I said, a very significant footprint in Stark County, and the fact that you're working with the community and providing services and leadership, quite frankly, in the community. Says a lot for Siffrin and the organization as a whole. So we certainly do appreciate that you're willing to do that, and that you guys do such a great job at doing that. When we have a session like this, you guys are 2 great leaders within your organization. So we're going to kind of wind down a little bit with maybe some of your thoughts as you lead the organization and serve the community. What kind of advice can you give other leaders in our community from your perspective?
I think collaboration is a big thing. We've mentioned a lot of different people that we collaborate with. Stark County has the Gold Star collaboration, where it's a group of providers that get together and they have discussions with one another of the things that are working, the things that are not working. The same as working with the other community members and being able to sit there and always be showing that there's something that we can do for you and that our folks will like to participate in. So I think just always collaborating with others and having those communications and kind of an open door policy with it. I think that's always helped us to lead by just going, all right, let's see who has some information, let's share what we have and see what works.
That's great. I will tell you, I think you're spot on from my perspective and what I do. we feel as well that collaboration is a big piece of working together to make Stark County a better place. And from my perspective, a safer place. And so I think you guys contribute to that as well. I can tell you that, I get the opportunity to see other counties through the eyes of 87 other sheriffs in Ohio. Currently, I'm in a leadership role as the president of the Buckeye State Sheriff's Association, so I meet very frequently and talk daily with other sheriffs, and I can tell you that Stark County has a bit of a niche, if you will, on that collaboration. I don't always see that in other counties, so it's good to be here in Stark County, and I'm glad you guys are engaging in that. Anything else to add on the leadership from you, George?
Yeah, I think Matt hit it right on the head there. The collaboration's big, but I also want to speak. Our CEO was teasing me last week that I tend to bring out these ideas from books that I've read in leadership. And Jack Welch is a great leader. Many people may know him from GE. One of his philosophies was that as a leader, you need to surround your people with smarter than yourself. And I think some people take offense to that, but really what he's saying is that, I'm going to admit that I don't know everything I need to know, and I'm going to surround myself with the people that know the things I need them to know in their program areas or their areas of responsibility. And I think other leaders, I think the challenge that a lot of leaders get into is that they try to know it all. And I think recognizing that you don't know it all is key to your success and being able to count on the people around you.
Absolutely, I concur with that thought, and I can tell you sometimes it's difficult to be a person at the lead of the organization to be able to say, I don't know the answer to that, but we're going to use our team to find out the right answer, right? And so it makes it difficult. Well, I just want to thank you both again for being on our watch today. Matt White, Siffrin Director of Professional Services, and my son, George Meyer, Siffrin Chief Operating Officer. I'm your Stark County Sheriff, George Meyer, and remember, we're always working together to keep Stark County safe and save your taxpayer dollars.